In a world where not everyone returns your generosity, indiscriminate giving can lead to financial and mental exhaustion. It is important to be aware of the unexpected negative effects of generosity, and today let's explore this topic in more depth. This text discusses the consequences of being too dense. 6 Stoic strategies people from taking advantage of you. The first consequence mentioned is having unrealistic expectations of people. The Stoics suggest accepting circumstances as they are and not relying on the actions of others for happiness. By giving without expecting too much in return, one can avoid disappointment and practice emotional detachment, leading to greater peace of mind. It can be a challenge to implement this attitude. Approaching situations dispassionately can help prevent negative emotions such as bad mood, fatigue, frustration, and disappointment. It is important to remember that people are not failing you. They are simply taking care of their own responsibilities. According to the Stoics, true value comes from acting in accordance with virtue and reason, rather than solely catering to others' expectations. Practicing moderation and giving in a balanced way can help achieve this. When we give all we have, we expect others to do the same when it is we who need something important. But you may have got people so used to having everything done for them that they take it for granted that you can handle everything, both in their lives and in your own, especially your own. It is important to maintain control over your own actions and avoid falling into habits that can negatively impact your emotional well-being. Humans are creatures of habit, and while this can be beneficial in some ways, it can also lead to a sense of complacency and a lack of growth. It is important to challenge yourself and step outside of your comfort zone in order to continue to learn and develop. This means that if you are always giving to others, they may come to expect it and take advantage of your generosity. It is important to set boundaries and communicate your needs clearly. The problem you will face in this case is undervaluing yourself. If you do not value yourself, it is highly unlikely that anyone will encourage you to think more about yourself. Do not expect this kind of empathetic act from those you help, as they may stick to their personal Robin Hood, and this could come at a high cost to them. Collaborating in certain areas can establish your authority, but it can also create a negative perception of you if boundaries are not set. Others may view you as weak or easily commanded, which contradicts a leadership role. This may lead them to shift their responsibilities onto you, knowing that you are unlikely to refuse because you are always ready to help others. However, as soon as you start using the word no, others may begin to respect you more for setting boundaries. It is important to show authenticity and say no when you need to. Relationships are an important part of human life, providing emotional support, connection, and a sense of belonging. It is important that these relationships are balanced and mutually beneficial. Balanced relationships are those in which all parties are happy. If you live a life of passivity, you run the risk of being perceived as weak and treated accordingly. Stoic philosophy encourages the development of inner strength and self-discipline through setting boundaries and practicing self-control. This demonstrates commitment to personal responsibilities and values, earning respect instead of being viewed as fragile and treated as such. While it may seem that always being available to help others establishes oneself as an asset, it can actually lead to being taken for granted. It is important to set boundaries and avoid being taken advantage of, regardless of sex. It is important to use clear and objective language, and to avoid biased, emotional, figurative, or ornamental language. It is important to avoid passivity and impersonal construction, and to avoid first-person perspective unless necessary. Language should be formal, avoiding contractions, slang, informal language, and unnecessary jargon. It should be grammatically correct, free of spelling and punctuation mistakes. The practice of generosity, combined with self-discipline, can help to prevent the development of addictive patterns of behavior and to maintain a sane relationship with our actions and choices. We may find that someone close to us notices our excessive consumption of something, whether alcohol, foods, or other things. Although your first reaction may be to become angry and deny any problems, it is often the case that people are too preoccupied with their own problems to recognize them. Remember that those who love you are always concerned about your well-being, so it is important to listen to their observations. These concerns are designed to help you avoid pitfalls and make progress towards improvement. Taking care of yourself is a fundamental factor in achieving completeness before offering comfort to others. It is important to feel satisfied, whole, and cared for before extending that love to others. In other words, do not give chocolate to others before enjoying it yourself. Similarly, do not offer to help friends clean their houses before organizing your own home and enjoying a relaxing moment with a glass of wine and a good movie. It is essential to prioritize self-care to be able to offer genuine help to others. In order to live rationally and ethically, Stoics emphasize the importance of setting boundaries and prioritizing our responsibilities. This is crucial for maintaining balance and avoiding sacrificing our authenticity and well-being for others. If you dedicate all your time to the priorities of others, your own priorities will be trampled upon. When seeking happiness and completeness, it is important to consider your emotions. Spending a weekend alone or coming home to an empty house is a challenge. Using solitude as a means may lead to others. It's not uncommon for people who once considered you a good friend to suddenly exclude you from joyful moments and only approach you when they need something specific or a favor. While this is a reasonable expectation in professional settings, it is not always fair in personal relationships. Therefore, it is important to learn how to avoid being exploited by others. In this article, we will share some strategies to help you do so. To maintain good mental and physical health, it is important to establish healthy boundaries in your personal and professional life. Think of a fence surrounding your garden, protecting your most precious flowers, your green meadow, and the peaceful environment you have created. Similarly, establishing healthy boundaries is like building a protective fence for your well-being and the integrity of your spirit. These boundaries play a vital role in our lives, serving as a clear border between what is acceptable and what is not. Personal boundaries define where you end and others begin. Building healthy boundaries protects your mental health, physical well-being, and the integrity of your spirit. By setting clear boundaries, you can avoid feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, and vulnerable to being taken advantage of by others. Stoic philosophy instructs us to exercise self-restraint and objectivity in order to distinguish between those who wish to help us and those who wish to exploit us. Avoiding wasting energy on situations that can resolve themselves. This is why it is important to give without the expectation of a clear return. Over time, spending too much energy may cause us to oscillate at a lower frequency, attracting those who need things, including opportunity. This is most common when those who have no intention or means of paying you back come only to drain your energy. Furthermore, falling into addiction is a risk that the Stoics warned against. Make sure that you only attract those into your life who are seeking help, not those who are willing to contribute. Using Stoic philosophy, are honest and mutually beneficial relationships and thus reap greater benefits from this classical wisdom. Those who pass through our lives are often attracted by the energy we exude. In other words, if we exude negativity, we will ultimately attract negative people, pessimists, those who have lost faith in life, and those with little goodwill towards themselves and the world. If scarcity becomes part of our daily life, the desire for more will grow, and this can lead to addiction. It is important to pay attention to the concerns of those who care for us, even if our initial reaction is anger and denial. Clear communication and self-awareness can help us avoid harmful behavior. It is often the case that people who are deeply immersed in their problems are unaware of their problems. It is important to consider the observations of those who care about you, as they only want the best for you. Use clear and concise language, avoiding biased or emotional language. Keep to a formal register, avoiding colloquialisms or jargon. Ensure a logical flow of information with causal links between statements. Language should be grammatically correct, free of spelling and punctuation errors. The text should be balanced and avoid bias. Use precise technical vocabulary when necessary. Do not add further aspects to the content of the text. Though you might wish the world were otherwise, the truth is that few people can genuinely show a spirit of generosity. So if you're one of those people, you're more likely than admiration and appreciation. But that's not the main problem. When you show generosity, it's not long before people start to question your true intentions. It is often best not to get involved with them and to decline their offers of help. In everything you strive to achieve in life, try to rely on yourself, no matter how long it takes. Observe at all times who truly wishes you well. To reduce mental stress, it is important to adjust your focus and find a healthier balance. Ask yourself how you feel when you help others. Taking care of yourself and putting your own needs first is as noble an act as helping others, and should make you feel good. If you feel too much pressure, exhaustion, anger, or exploitation, it is a sign that it is time to stop and listen to your feelings. If something that you do is causing such discomfort, it is important not to ignore these feelings. People may open doors for you in life, but it is important not to expect anything in return. Equally, you should not help others expecting anything in return. In everyday life, we often face situations where others may try to take advantage of us. This can happen in personal, professional, and social relationships. To protect yourself and maintain balance in your life, it is important to understand and use appropriate strategies that benefit others. In the following, we will explore 6 basic strategies. This first step is based on the Stoic idea of self-knowledge. It is important to pay attention to your feelings and mood. Stoics emphasize self-reflection as a way of understanding your reactions and needs, which is vital for you. By listening to your feelings, you can determine whether you have overcommitted yourself and caused yourself damage. The word no is very important in your life because it sets boundaries and can help you escape from energy-draining situations. When you say no to something, it reflects your values and shows that you are not a person who agrees with everything and everyone. If you agree with everything, you end up in stressful situations. This strategy follows the teachings of Stoicism and includes: it's important to practice saying no. It can even be helpful to practice in front of a mirror and convince yourself that it's the only way to gain freedom and avoid unnecessary risks. What we need to keep in mind is the specificity of each situation. These strategies can help you create a healthier balance in your relationships and protect your mindset. Do you often practice using the word no? If so, please share your thoughts or tell me a situation where saying no was beneficial to you in the comments section below. Acknowledging the value of your time and energy and being conscious about how you allocate them is a way of practicing self-control. Saying no in situations where you feel overwhelmed or when requests are unfair can be difficult for some people, but it's important to overcome the fear of using it in certain moments in your life. If we don't, negativity can show up in our lives when someone asks us for more than we can give. This strategy is based on the Stoic principles of self-discipline and self-respect, which are core elements of a fulfilled life. It's important to make time and space for self-care. Engaging in activities that bring you joy, such as sports, painting, or listening to music, is crucial. Try to complete your tasks promptly so that you can make time for these activities. This should be a top priority in your life. Consistently draining individuals of their energy and not contributing positively is detrimental. For me, my peace of mind is of utmost importance as it allows me to accomplish everything I have planned. When we have guidance in life, we often follow it. However, when we lack daily peace, it can hinder or drag us down. It may not be successful to try and help an energy drainer understand this. These individuals often overwhelm others with complaints, grievances, and negative views of life. They do not genuinely care about solving their issues. The philosophy of Stoicism teaches us the importance of balance in all aspects of life, including generosity. Giving too little can make us appear selfish, while giving too much can deplete us of our energy, time, and finances. It is crucial to remember that financial depletion is one of the most dangerous outcomes. Therefore, it is essential to choose optimal options that strike a balance between prioritizing others and taking care of oneself. When in doubt, remember the magic word, no. Using objective language and avoiding biased or emotional language is important. It is also crucial to use precise subject-specific vocabulary when it conveys the meaning more accurately than a similar non-technical term. The text should be grammatically correct and free from spelling and punctuation errors. Additionally, it is important to maintain a clear and logical structure with causal connections between statements. Avoid filler words and use consistent citation and footnote styles. Finally, it is important to avoid bias and maintain a formal register. Thank you for watching this video. If it has helped you, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more teachings on Stoic philosophy. In a world where not everyone returns your generosity, indiscriminate giving can lead to financial and mental exhaustion. It is important to be aware of the unexpected negative effects of generosity, and today let's explore this topic in more depth. This text discusses the consequences of being too good and presents 6 Stoic strategies for preventing people from taking advantage of you. The first consequence mentioned is having unrealistic expectations of people. The Stoics suggest accepting circumstances as they are and not relying by giving without expecting too much in return. One can avoid disappointment and practice emotional detachment, leading to greater peace of mind. It can be a challenge to implement this attitude. Approaching situations dispassionately can help prevent negative emotions such as bad mood, fatigue, frustration, and disappointment. It is important to remember that people are not failing you. They are simply taking care of their own responsibilities. According to the Stoics, true value comes from acting in accordance with virtue and reason, rather than solely catering to others' expectations. Practicing moderation and giving in a balanced way can help achieve this. When we give all we have, we expect others to do the same when it is we who need something important. But you may have got people so used to having everything done for them that they take it for granted that you can handle everything, both in their lives and in your own, especially your own. It is important to maintain control over your own actions and avoid falling into habits that can negatively well-being. Humans are creatures of habit, and while this can be beneficial in some ways, it can also lead to a sense of complacency and a lack of growth. It is important to challenge yourself and step outside of your comfort zone in order to continue to learn and develop. This means that if you are always giving to others, they may come to expect it and take advantage of your generosity. It is important to set boundaries and communicate your needs clearly. The problem